trouble. Yes, I guess.
All right, are you in a good position? You see everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Please bear with us. We're having our regular board meeting at the end of the year. But if you have any questions, feel free to.
It's a public meeting.
Okay, under work session, the first thing we usually do is cover the resolutions. The first one is, I don't think we're gonna get anybody tonight, but do we want to oh no, highway funds, anybody want to read that
I'll
one?
read it.
Doc,
No problem.
okay. Number two is a resolution for the air conditioning bid award.
We'll do it.
Betty? C is a resolution of turnout gear for fire companies.
If it goes through, yes, I got it.
D is a resolution for the van agreement with the town of Clarence.
I'll read it. Nobody wants that.
And the rest is a motion for temporary use permits for auto sales and one for home-based businesses. We do that every year. I think I'll give you copies of that. So we should be okay on that. G is a motion concerning the dog control officer. And I don't know if we have to do that tonight because we're gonna do it at the organization. Which is
Yeah,
Monday.
you're right, yeah.
in everything's kosher until
Just
Monday. So
update what
I'm
we
not-
discussed tonight.
I'm not gonna do that. We'll just discuss here in work session. Because Joe and I met with
Both of them.
the dog control officer elect and the assistant.
So can you say you tabled it? Or you should have to
I'm just gonna, when we get to the
agenda changes?
changes,
it's not there.
take that off.
Yeah.
Gee.
Okay,
Okay, so that'll hopefully make that go a little faster. Concerning next Monday night, which is an organizational meeting. We did have a work session after that. I don't, unless we have something major. I'm gonna cut that right down to nothing because there appears to be some kind of event going on. What are you laughing at?
I told Connie it was gonna be a short.
So everybody can get out here except for Emily. She'll never make it back to her house. But maybe go to dad's or whatever. So just to let everybody know, you'll see a shortened work session. We'll only cover anything that's major and has to
for
be done.
organizational measure,
Yeah,
and
the
that starts
only
at
lengthy work session meeting, I think, coming up will be the noise law discussion, and I sent an update to Dave Miller yesterday, so I don't anticipate him having a response to me by Monday.
No, no. Okay.
16th would be the earliest, then
Uh,
7 o'clock was the start for the organization.
7 o'clock for the organization.
Monday seems so far away, blinking it's there.
So, yeah, on January 2nd. Okay, so under planning, noise law, we just got the report. Emily has got something off to Dave. He'll look at it. They'll get back to us. The 16th of January is a holiday, so there won't be a work session that. So what we may do is discuss after the meeting, one of the regular meetings, the noise, just talk about it. Because I would like to keep that moving.
Please, yes,
Otherwise, you gotta wait till February, and I really don't wanna wait that long.
we were trying to get something booked by March. wasn't it?
Yeah.
March.
And
The
that-
latest
That's gonna be
April.
close, yeah. Okay, water, sewer, and culvert. Nothing new. So Scott, I didn't ask him for anything, I don't think he was in this rest of the week, I'm not sure. But, so there's nothing new on the water hookups. I haven't heard of any complaints of anything. With the freezing, of anything busting or issues. So apparently whatever they did is
Holy,
working fine on the new water line.
in the culvert, the county was going to get the majority of. the
Yes.
money you mentioned.
And we haven't heard anything different than that.
Right.
Buildings, library, we're doing the air conditioning thing tonight. Other than that, I know John had a couple things that he was checking out
I got that.
and, go ahead.
I have a little synopsis of from what John had. There was a furnace issue at the senior center. The part was replaced, no other issues with that. There were a couple of minor leaks at the senior center / kitchen of the fire hall. Due to snow blowing is what they believe. They'll have to wait for a thaw to further assess that. Same thing was occurring at the library with probably blowing snow and some leakage at the library. What they were discussing at the library board meeting was, I know there was some discussion with regards to pursuing a grant to replace the fire alarm system at the library. I think they're gonna go with the roof instead, is what they're discussing, so. With that New York State grant, they're going to pursue replacing the roof instead of the fire alarm system.
Replace the whole, wow.
The entire, roof?
I believe so. Okay. So that's all John had with regards to buildings.
Are there any grant monies for replacing that roof for that estimate? 100 is taken
well, I
out.
think that's what they want to do.
I think, no, they're
They put in
right.
for a grant.
Grant.
I think they're just lifting and shifting and using the same grant to do the
Mhm.
roof, Doug.
Okay, okay.
Okay, grants, nothing new on anything there. I would assume right after the first of the year, the block grant will be awarded.
That's late, isn't it? They usually
Yeah.
get it before the end of the year.
Okay, other, organizational meeting is next Monday, so 7 o'clock. Joint meeting with the village, I have not heard anything back from them, so unless someone on the board disagrees with me, I think I will get back to them and say that, we're taking it off our agenda until further notice.
Yeah, I seen Mike Meadow and Brian Perry yesterday on Main Street, and they didn't seem to mention anything about it, so.
Are you referring to the sidewalk of the CBDG?
Oh, the community development block grant is, for a van for the seniors.
Okay,
Okay, then I switched gears. I went under other organizational meeting, we took care of that, and then we've been discussing whether we're gonna have a meeting with the village.
okay.
And Peter said he was gonna poll his board and get back to me several weeks ago on topics.
Okay,
Okay, and it appears that no one has a real topic that they want to discuss. So there's no. I would hope we'll have a meeting maybe after the village elections, because. Apparently there'll be a new village board member, or trustee, or from what I gather, it's only rumor at this point in time, but. What do I know? How that goes. Okay. Under executive session, we have dog control and fire companies. I don't think we really need to go in executive session on the dog control. I'll let Dog. Dog,
Dog about it.
Dog, the bounty hunter or bound, yeah. Just, he met and I met with the new dog control officer for 2023 and the assistant. We're not going to appoint them tonight. Because they're not, because it'll be for the first of the year, and we're gonna do it at the first of the year. We're gonna do it on the second, so. Everybody was okay with that. But we had a couple issues and questions that were brought up, and we've got that all squared away. They're very comfortable with whatever basically the town board and budget office wants to do as far as the. We will do the same thing that was in this last organizational minutes, which was a salary for the dog control officer, and the assistant will be on hour. And everybody understands that this is a learning experience for everybody, and see what happens through the next 10 months, and then readdress it in the fall
Absolutely.
for a more permanent situation. Hopefully this will be permanent for a while. They're both young enough that they can be there as long as Dave Young was. Okay. The fire companies, if needed, I don't think we need, because we, I think conveyed the fact that. The information we got back from the state says that we're not doing anything wholly wrong. Legally, nothing wrong. Ethically, I'll say my comments for the public hearing. Okay, but, so, we're good, we got.
Well, the state responded.
Yes, they did. I think it was just the holiday season. Normally they get back within a couple hours, then it was a couple days. So I got really no major complaints with
That's great.
that reply. Does anybody else have anything that they want to, I'll mention it in a regular meeting. Okay.
Did you get a Christmas wish or Hanukkah wish from me? No,
No,
if looks could kill Patty, I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't. In fact, the last couple of emails I could show you, he has not replied to me. Usually he just said, no update. Mr. Cummings, I said, no problem. But,
So be it.
but in my discussion, and I think I mentioned at the last meeting, I did meet with Senator Gallivan, who's going to be our new senator, and he's going to check into that right after the first of the year. Given him all the information he needs, and also ask him, and he's friends with Ed Rath, who is
Yeah,
pushed as much as he could in seeing that. But as I mentioned before, Senator Gallivan said that anything through that particular agency with the state is the Dorm Authority is just like pulling teeth. And he says it doesn't matter what level of government you're at. They treat everybody the same and they treat everybody not well.
Poorly.
It's almost as like dealing with FEMA. FEMA, you eventually get your money, but it might be 2 years later. Well, here it's been what, 8 years? We haven't got it. But he is more than happy to look into something in the future.
as was Ed at the New Year also, I think he had mentioned to you that.
Ed Rath would have done it too. Senator Gallivan is going to be fine. He's very friendly. Knows small towns because he's down in the southern tier. It was a very nice meeting with him. I know our new New York State Assembly person, has been in Akron several times. And talked to people in the village, but I have yet to meet with him. We were supposed to meet and it got canceled for some reason, but we'll get with him after the first of the year.
He initiated that
Yeah.
initial.
Okay, so I still can babble on for 5 more minutes. No. I think unless there's an opposition out there, we can start the public hearing 5 minutes early. If someone comes in while we're doing the meeting, we'll just open up the public hearing again. That's legal. Is that okay, Patty? Okay. So at this point in time, I would like to open the public hearing concerning turnout gear for the fire companies, with roll call, please.
Councilman Dugan,
Here.
Councilmember,
Here.
Councilwoman Pope,
Here.
Supervisor Cummings.
Here.
All present except for Councilman Andrusky.
Okay. Would you read proof of publication?
Yes, this is as published in the Akron Bugle on December 15th, 2022. Please take notice that there has been presented to the town board on December 12th, 2022, copies of a proposed allocation for reimbursement for purchase of turnout gear by the Newstead Fire Company Incorporated and the Akron Fire Company in the amount of $12,000 for each fire company and a total of $24,000. Therefore, pursuant to the town law and general municipal law rule, the town board of the town of Newstead shall hold a public hearing on the aforesaid purchase reimbursement at the town of Newstead Town Hall, 5 Clarence Center Road, Akron, New York, at 7:25 PM on the 29th day of December 2022. At which time persons interested may be heard. Copies of the aforesaid proposal are available at the office of the town clerk for inspection and distribution to any interested person during business hours. The meeting room is handicap accessible. Those needing special arrangements should call the town hall.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? So I'm only, does the Bugle have any comments? No, probably shouldn't. Any of the board members want to comment for the public hearing? Support, not support?
It seems like a reasonable expenditure of money if the goal is to entice more people to volunteer their services for their respective fire companies and to diminish or reduce the burden of the financial burden on the respective fire companies, which in the long run increases the safety, hopefully, the services they provide for the town residents. And it's not going to apparently negatively, significantly denigrate the financial services that the town is able to provide or to plenish the pot of gold that's under the table too much. So I think it's a prudent thing to do.
Okay. My comments are, it's very noble, a very just cause. I have no issue of giving money to the fire companies to help them pretty much piggyback on the docks. I do caution, though, from a financial standpoint, that hopefully we're not headed down a slippery slope, because the funds, we're subsidizing the people in the village of Akron. And they have their own tax base and their own fire company, and we're subsidizing that tax base. So if I was a resident in a town, which I am, I'm going, so my tax dollars are going to a fire company that initially does not service us. Now, the other side of that coin is, yes, they mutual aid. Of course they mutual aid. As does Clarence, as does Millgrove, as does Wolcottsville. They all come from different tax bases, but everybody next door to each other mutual aids. I would have a very difficult time supporting town monies to Millgrove Fire Company for turnout gear, or to Wolcottsville, or to Rapids, or Pembroke, whatever. Even though they mutual aid us, you know, I mean, that's their town's responsibility. So that's a slippery slope that I hope we don't get used to or into. I think in this particular case, it'll be fine. We have checked out legally with the state of New York Association of Towns. And Emily's checked it out, and we're not doing anything illegal. Okay, it's just not a habit that I would like to see us spending funds outside of our realm. But I certainly will support it when we vote on it.
I'd second that motion.
Okay.
I'd like to commend my colleagues, Mr. Dugan and Mr. Jandrowski, for the efforts they've expended over the past year to 2 years in maintaining good relationships and communication avenues with the Newstead Fire Corporation, both their firematics people and their Board of Trustee people. And may it continue, because I think in large measure it's beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you, Tom.
Anything else? Any other comments? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing, subject to be reopened if we do get someone in the next 15 minutes or so. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
With those stipulations, so move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Carried. And again, that looks pretty with no lights out in the hallway with the tree on. Okay, we'll continue on into our regular meeting. Roll call has been taken. Please stand and join me in the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the 12th. Everybody has received a copy. Any comments? Corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to receive the file or approve.
So move.
Is there a second?
second,
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Carried. Agenda changes, entertain a motion to take G off the new business, which is the dog control.
So move.
Second,
second,
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Communications.
We received a letter from Charter Communications notifying the town of the upcoming programming changes taking place in December. We received the 2022 Building Planning Department report. We received a letter from Athenex Pharma Solutions located at 11342 Main Street, notifying the town of operation closures and layoffs at this facility. And we received a notice from the town of Pembroke notifying us of 3 upcoming amendments to their zoning law, and that comments will be accepted until their January 5th town board meeting. I have those if anybody wants to see them. And that's all.
Okay. Work session,
it,
go ahead, Doc.
I'm just wondering. The paper, Buffalo News, I think, or maybe even the airwaves communication made reference to Athenex or Phoenix as being a company that began in Newstead in 2017. I'm thinking, wasn't the company that was founded and cited there somewhat found much earlier than that by a UB professor and it has been in Newstead longer, although may have had a different name than Athenex or Athenex?
I think you're correct.
I was just wanted to verify. It's been there for quite some time.
17 is only 5 years ago, and
Exactly.
has been, they've been doing
Mhm.
stuff up there for longer than 5 years. But it did have a name change when they went big time.
Yeah. So I think
Apparently
that's
they
why
got
they can legally say it's from 2017 because of the,
The new name,
I'm sorry to have lost it.
yeah. Well, they 92 employees, they're still, your guess is this the first step of losing them? That would be your, I don't know, that would be one assumption, we'll put it that way. Maybe another assumption is they're just downsizing. I don't know, we haven't really heard whether they're, I don't know, did the newspaper articles say they're moving anyplace?
No, they're just
The
closing.
newspaper article that I saw said that they were closing the facility completely.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
That was today I saw.
yeah.
okay, so that, the 92 is just the first step, because I know there's more than 92 employees there. Okay. Work session. We met on the 19th. And discussed water and sewer, then I think Scott, well, he reported last meeting, okay. Planning, noise and special permit. Emily and Dave Miller are working on that, as she had mentioned. We should have something within the next week or so to discuss. Building projects, library, air conditioning, we're have a resolution this evening. Grants. Nothing new,
Where you at, Dave? Oh,
Oh,
last work
uh,
session?
last work session. Yeah. Last work session, we did discuss gas well a little bit, organizational meeting we discussed. Joint meeting with the village we discussed. We also went in an executive session last meeting at 7 PM and came out at 7, excuse me, that's okay. We went in at 7:29 and came out at 7:45, and we discussed the dog control personnel and fire company personnel. Be the right word. Okay, so that's all I have there. Agenda items, anybody have any questions? Okay, bills, we have, before we do the bills, we do have transfer. Some budget transfers, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Bills, Joe?
On behalf of Councilman Jendrowski, I'd like to submit the following vouchers for approval. General, $12,140.99. General outside the village, $150. Highway, $4,515.78. Nap Water, $22,900.38. Refuse, $899.59. Sewer District number 1, $30.87. Sewer District number 2, $81.87. Consolidated Water, $42.04. For a grand total of $40,761.52.
So second,
Second.
discussion? John would have loved to have read that one.
I'm just curious, what is an avoidable alarm fee and a refund of overpayment for appeared in it? An avoidable alarm. fee.
Is that at the highway garage?
I think it was at McDonald's.
Yeah,
I think it was at McDonald's.
avoidable alarms, we've had that in the past.
Yeah. I'm.
So
just like-
typically like McDonald's, I know they've had them there in the past. People Inc. On Rapids have had them in the past. The alarm goes off. Fire department shows up. There have been no issues. It was an avoidable alarm. Something
Yeah, occurred
caused
because
it,
that,
right?
okay,
So the business can be fined for that.
so
via
apparently it
the
wasn't,
CEO.
with this, it was refunded.
Right.
Yeah,
But they
because,
could have, right, rebutted it or. I don't know, you just have to take that up with Dave,
okay, in order to get refunded.
right?
Yeah.
I know all that goes.
Because I
through
read
code
the Akron
enforcement.
Bugle about, it may be mostly in the village, but the fire alarms going off.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering if what we enacted a few months ago or a couple of years ago about fine, levying fines
Sure.
against these unnecessary to prevent the call out unnecessarily. I was just curious. Other than that,
Okay. We okayed that.
I'm in favor of paying.
Did we vote on that?
No,
John, we didn't vote on the bills.
Yes, you did.
oh, we
Okay.
did,
Aye.
okay.
Patty seconded it.
Yep. Okay, committee and department head reports, highway, none. I will report that all town roads are clear. They pushed back wherever they possibly can due to the storm. My hat's off to every highway worker, every fireman, whether it's Akron or Newstead. Danny Kwalik, Mike Mutter, and Joe Hawes didn't do a lot here, but Joe Hawes works for the county driving snowplow.
Oh, boy.
So he probably worked harder than all of us, or all the guys. But it was quite a hectic, news conferences, not news, but, conferences with the, county executive, at least one, sometimes two a day. National Grid was very good. They would give, an every 2 hour report, of what the status was as far as the outages. There were tons of people from out of this area that helped out, especially fire or power companies and et cetera. But in our town, I would like to specifically point out Largo, and County Line Stone. We were able to use their loaders in
To remove the
to
snow.
move the snow. And help dig out the cars. There were several cars. That got dug out. That system worked out well. Once it got going, everybody, all the cars were taken up to St. Teresa's. They were identified with VIN numbers, et cetera, in the county, you would say you left your car on South Newstead Road, you could call the county. And say, okay, I left my car, well, what's your VIN number? Boom, boom. They said, well, it's at St. Teresa's, and well, everything went really well as far as on the tail end of that. The fire companies, I know I was up at Newstead, there had to be 60, 70 people up there. I know they had at least the same amount in the village of Akron. Thanks, hats off to those 5 to 8 firemen that stayed there 24/7, 3-4 days in a row. And they still liked each other after the going in the 4th day when I was up there. And Pixley's for helping get food up to both fire halls to feed the people. And that went extremely well. So all in all, a lot of people to thank. I think we did extremely well in recovering and getting things open as best as we can. Nothing's perfect in a storm like this. How can you predict it? You can't predict what's really going to happen. So I guess I've been saying that because I hear some people on the news media that it sort of bothers me. It's like the county, the state, they're not doing enough. Well, they're doing as much as they possibly can. I mean, they're not. I mean, when there's a storm like this and everybody's life is potentially in danger, especially whether it's in the city or out in the country, we're trying to do the best you can. Sometimes you succeed. Most of the time, thank God, we succeed. Once in a while you failed, and this time, that failed a lot. I just couldn't believe the amount of people out in the storm.
They had 5 days notified.
We had. Okay, how can I best put this? Because I know I'm being recorded. We had several people at the Newstead Fire Hall that are passing through our town to go to Niagara Falls.
Yes.
Little common sense would say, geez, why don't we wait in Batavia for a day or two? And then try to make that trip, or go up to 104, but anyways, enough. I just wanted my hats go off to everybody that worked on the storm, even the staff here. We did very well, extremely well. And everybody helped each other out. What was great is, we plowed part of some of the state roads. The county plowed some of the roads the town does, and vice versa. What if you happen to be in that area, they took care of it, just to keep things open and get things open. But the hardest thing was to try to get around the cars, that were sidelined.
Some left unnecessarily because they didn't stay home.
Okay,
Kudos to all the hard work.
assessors report. December assessors report number 2. I'm finishing up the valuation of the village residential properties. I will be on to the town residential portion very soon. I'm still on track to start on the commercial and final portion by the end of February. If anyone has any questions, please get in touch. Code enforcement, building departments, tail end of the year reports, not much happening. They couldn't get in here to get their permits. No, just an accessory generator. Generators are pretty expensive. I guess if you want to do it right, 10 grand.
13K.
Wow.
Concerning that, is this a new, this looks neat, new,
We've gotten that before in a different format.
right?
And that's probably what Councilman Burke is referring to, is we got the town of Newstead Building and Planning Department report for the end of the year, which Jennifer referred to. And it's in a little different format. It shows the last 5 years. What we've done, so you can see the progression or not progression. Julie also gave us a copy of zoning board and who attended
That's good.
in training. And I think we're getting one, or did we get one on the planning board? I'm sure it's forthcoming.
Is this a new IT program that was,
I think
that
it's just,
generated this?
I
that's
think
why
it's
it's a
the
different
fact that
format?
there's someone new running that department and they doing it a little bit differently.
Yep.
You know,
Okay. Well-
just as good, if not better, who knows?
Wasn't hard to read.
Okay, where are we? Town clerk,
Nothing to report.
okay, town attorney.
Nothing at this time.
Councilman Jendrowski is not here. Joe, did you have anything for him that you wanted to add that you have not stated?
No, just under buildings. If I have to reiterate it, I will at that point.
Okay. Councilman Dugan.
Just that, I had a meeting with the future dog control officer and deputy dog control officer this evening. Meeting was very cordial. Both of the individuals are on board. Had the supervisor come in at the tail end of that meeting to discuss some things, and it seems like we're up and running. So I have high hopes for replacing our longtime dog control officer, Dave DeYoung.
That's
if-
good
If
news.
that's possible, but we got a good start.
Good news.
That's all I have.
Okay. Councilperson Burke.
Nothing new.
Okay, Councilperson Pope.
Nothing at this time.
Supervisor, as I mentioned, worked with several departments, both locally in the state. Concerning the storm. Sent out the bill schedule for next year for who reviewing the board, the bills. If anybody has a problem with that month, try to switch with someone. Okay,
You even included dates.
also, okay, we got the building floor plan, storm, thank you. Just a little update on the hirings. I know we have a vacancy in the highway department. We put an ad in the paper. We got one applicant. They have interviewed that individual and that individual turned down the job after finding out the details. So we would like to advertise again for 2 weeks, I guess.
Is that the
In the
customer?
Bugle. 2 weeks' time is usually what, or 4 weeks. What do we usually do?
Whatever you want.
When does the next bugle come out? Next Tuesday?
Next Thursday, the fifth. I'm on vacation, don't I look like?
Yeah, okay. Well, the 5th and the 12th, put it in the first 2 weeks in January.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, first 2 weeks in January. Yeah, the
Okay.
5th and the 12th. Thank you. The court clerk, I know they had several applications. They were doing interviews, if that's what they're doing in
Still.
that room this evening. They started at 6:30 and I know I talked to both judges and they're on board on trying to hire somebody. Obviously, sooner than later. Don't want to wear out Joy too quickly because Joy has increased her hours and is doing a great job. I believe they're getting help once in a while in the evenings. One evening a week
From the former.
from the former clerk has come in once or twice to. You know, that's the same thing that would happen if Colleen left. We'd have to get her coming back once in a while to, hey, can you, you know. So I understand how that all goes.
Do they anticipate making a recommendation by the next week or 2 weeks? Hard to
No
say.
indication because they hadn't done the interviews.
Got it.
It's hard to tell
Okay,
from the resumes. I did see half of them. And I'm glad they're picking. Okay. Yeah. Unfinished business, buildings.
Would you like me to reiterate from the work session?
I don't think it's
Are
necessary.
you good with that, Jen?
I'm good,
Okay.
I got it.
Thank you.
Planning. Nothing except what we talked about, we got the noise and special use permit ordinance or law. Forthcoming, water and sewer, nothing to update, grants, we've all gone through that, so we'll go on to new business. The first is a resolution for the highway funds for 2020. I'm sorry, that should be 3.
Okay,
I got it right on
It is right on the record.
on the resolution. I have a hard time, go ahead, Doc.
I'd like to propose the following resolution. Whereas pursuant to section 284 of the highway law, the town board is required to sign an agreement authorizing the expenditure of money received from the state for the purpose of repair and improvement of the highways specified to be repaired. And whereas for the year 2023, the town may expend the sum of $343,039.33 for repair and or replacement of culverts, sign placement, maintenance of including chipping and sealing of various roads throughout the town. This includes, but not limited to, shoulder rehabilitation, chip and seal on several town roads, and mill in place / oil, Kalkenberg Road, Dye Road, and Draper Road. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board as follows. 1, the town board does hereby authorize the expenditure of funds received from the state of New York for the repair of various roads throughout the town and for shoulder rehabilitation, repair, and or replacement of culverts, sign replacement, and chipping and sealing of 29.76 miles of town highways and applying top layer as required. 2, the town board does hereby authorize the expenditure of funds received from the state of New York to mill in place Dye Road from Clarence Center Road to Hunts Corners Road. 3, the town board does hereby authorize the expenditure of funds received from the state of New York to mill in place Kalkenberg Road from Burdick Road to Clarence Town Line. And 4, the town board does hereby authorize the expenditure of funds received from the state of New York to mill in place Draper Road from McNeely Road to Hunts Corners Road. 5, the town board is hereby authorized to execute the agreement to spend highway funds in form annexed hereto. 6, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second? Discussion, this is something we do every year,
Yeah,
there's nothing new.
and the effects totals to be 343,000
Right,
if we do it all.
if we do it all, and
And-
that's a guesstimate right now.
Guesstimate, right? And the highway is, the New York State is going to 250 may be expended for general repairs. We're just curious, there's 250 expended, but the potential cost, if everything goes through, is expected at least 343.
Right,
That's the way it always works.
Yeah.
So we make up the difference.
Mhm.
Got it.
okay. Please pull the board.
Councilman Dugan,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Aye.
Councilwoman Pope,
Yes.
Supervisor Cummings,
Yes.
carried.
I will give to Jen a copy of the board members that are here tonight will sign this.
Okay.
And if Patty, you can work out with Jen when to come in to sign, because all the board members have to sign this, and we'll get in touch with John to come in too. Okay, B is a resolution for HVAC bid award. Patty?
Bid out for the following resolution, whereas the town board of the town of Newstead, in consultation with the librarian, has determined that it is necessary to improve the HVAC system at the Newstead Public Library hereinafter the project. And whereas by resolution dated November 28th, 2022, a copy of which is attached here too and incorporated by reference, the town board authorized and directed the town clerk to advertise for bids for the project. And whereas in response, bids were received from 2 companies, which are annexed here to and made a part hereof, summarized below as follows. DWC Mechanical, Inc. for $57,600 and MJ Mechanical Services Incorporated for $64,000. Whereas the town board has determined that the project bid from DWC Mechanical Inc. is the low bid and as such would best meet the town's needs. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board as follows. Number one, the town board does hereby accept the bid from DWC Mechanical Inc., subject to receipt of proof of insurance as required by the bid documents. Number two, the town supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all documents necessary for DWC Mechanical to commence and complete the project, subject to review and approval by the town attorney. The town supervisor is authorized to work in conjunction with the librarian to complete any paperwork necessary to obtain the previously approved grant funding for the project. And number three, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. The item number 2, I've just wanted clarification. It says, subject to review and approval by the town attorney. If that approval is not obtained, then the contract quote is null and void, or is that the way that works? I'm just wondering what that specifically meant.
Correct. A lot of times when we accept bids, then the contractors come to us with the documents that they want the town to execute to say that we're moving forward with the project. So I'm just noting that that has to meet my approval first or the town won't move forward.
Excellent, excellent. It's customary boilerplate that's put in these kinds of,
Okay.
thanks.
Sorry,
to
made
interrupt.
in second, no problem. Please poll the board.
Councilman Dugan,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Aye,
Councilwoman Pope,
Yes,
Supervisor Cummings.
Yes.
Carried.
C on the agenda is a resolution for turnout gear for fire companies. Joe.
I'd like to propose the following resolution, whereas the town board of the town of Newstead hereinafter the town board previously passed a resolution on December 12th, 2022. It is incorporated by reference to set a public hearing regarding potential payment to the town of Newstead Fire Company Incorporated and Akron Fire Company, hereafter the fire companies. And whereas a public hearing was duly called and held on December 29th, 2022, and comments were made by, you want me to specify Councilman Burke and Supervisor Cummings? Sure. And whereas after giving due consideration, the town board believes that it is in the best interest of the residents of the town of Newstead to authorize a total payment of up to $24,000 to the fire companies, with $12,000 to each of the fire companies, subject to the attached requirements to aid in fire extinguishment services in the town. Now therefore be resolved. Now therefore it is hereby ordered as follows. Number one, town board designates up to $24,000 of American Rescue Plan, ARPA, funds and authorizes payments to the fire companies for reimbursement for eligible purchases as set forth in the reimbursement specifications document, which is attached here to and made a part hereof. Number two, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second?
second,
Discussion?
question. Sorry for this, just the third whereas, the last line says to aid in fire extinguishment services. Would that incorporate something like a chemical spill or a gasoline spill at that's not on fire, that is at a gas station like we had years ago down at in front of the school? I'm just curious about that. Is it specifically, it's fire extinguished? If there's no fire to be extinguished, then this does or
I
doesn't?
think in general, the fire company's duty is fire extinguishment services.
The
So
purpose of the turnout gear is for that,
Right,
right? Not a
but they
specific.
use turnout gear if, other than putting out a fire.
Mhm.
That was my curiosity. Maybe I'm not making myself clear.
I think you're thinking too much about it.
Okay,
I think in general, the goal of the fire company, and that's part of the different codes about the different services that the fire companies are obligated to.
It
provide to the
encompasses their
town.
daily duties, right?
Extinguishment services encompasses the duties of the fire company.
so that doesn't have to be specified. That's implicit in the phrase fire extinguishment service.
Yeah, it's.
I guess that's
consistent-
where I'm not privy to. Okay,
Consistent with the different code sections that are relevant here.
Any other questions, comments? Please pull the board.
Councilman Dugan,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
I,
Councilwoman Pope,
Yes,
Supervisor Cummings,
Yes,
carried.
did the reimbursement specifications have to be read? Well, that's
No,
just
they were in
attached here
those
too.
verbatim for the prior resolution, which was passed, which is incorporated there.
Thank you.
okay. D, resolution for van agreement with the town of Clarence. Doc?
Yes, I'd like to propose the following resolution, whereas the town of Newstead and the town of Clarence have for many years been sharing the use of a van provided by the county of Erie pursuant to a contract between the county of Erie and the town of Clarence. And whereas in order to continue to share the use of the van, the town of Newstead has to enter into an intermunicipal agreement between the town of Clarence and the town of Newstead each year to authorize such service. And whereas the town board of the town of Newstead believes that it is in the best interest of the town of Newstead and its residents to renew the above agreement, now therefore be it resolved as follows. One, the town board does hereby approve the intermunicipal agreement between the town of Clarence and the town of Newstead for 2023. Two, the town supervisor is hereby authorized to execute and deliver such agreement. And three, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Been seconded. Any questions? What we do every year to provide that service to our communities?
It's a great service. And how many years it's been now? 15 to 17? Has it been provided for that?
Oh, it's probably close to 15.
Okay.
Okay, please pull the board.
Councilman Dugan,
Yes.
Councilman Burke,
Aye.
Councilwoman Pope,
yes,
Supervisor Cummings.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, E, I'll entertain a motion to approve the temporary special use permits for 2023 used auto sales / C2 zone.
So moved.
Second,
second,
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. F, entertain a motion for the temporary use permits for 2023 for home-based businesses - RA zone.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. G, we took off. Provincial 4, anybody have any comments, questions? Like to get back to your vacation? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Is
So move.
there a second?
second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, and everybody have a happy new year.
I'll check
Happy
the
New
motion.
Year. See you Monday.
Stay healthy.
Oh, you got the recording? Yeah. I see how Karen